Starbucks in Vietnam. When a global giant meets a local soul. Cold open. Starbucks is one of the most powerful consumer brands in human history. Over 30,000 stores. Presence in more than 75 countries. A logo recognized almost everywhere on Earth. And yet, in Vietnam, it quietly struggles. Not because people don't drink coffee. Not because the market is small. But because something deeper refuses to bend. This is not a story about failure. It's a story about culture, habit, and the limits of scale. Fragment I. Starbucks was never about coffee. Starbucks didn't conquer the world by selling better coffee. It sold meaning. In the West, Starbucks became the third place. Not home, not work, but somewhere in between. A safe pause in a fast, transactional world. The coffee was secondary. The feeling was the product. People weren't paying $4 or $5 for caffeine. They were paying for identity, atmosphere, and belonging. And for decades, it worked. Fragment 2, a brand built on experience, not taste. Howard Schultz didn't copy Italian espresso bars. He translated them. Italian cafes are fast. Loud. Standing only. Starbucks slowed everything down. Comfortable chairs. Soft music. Personalized cups with your name written on them. It turned coffee into a lifestyle accessory. A small, daily luxury. In many countries, that idea was revolutionary. In Vietnam, it wasn't. Fragment 3, Vietnam, a country that already had its own third place. Vietnam doesn't need Starbucks to teach it how to drink coffee. Coffee here is not an experience add-on. It's woven into daily life. Sidewalk stools. Steel filters dripping slowly. Conversations without schedules. Vietnamese coffee isn't rushed. And it isn't performative. It's not about branding the moment. It is the moment. Starbucks entered a country where coffee already belonged to the people. Fragment 4, the price is not the problem, but it reveals one. Starbucks in Vietnam costs roughly 80,000 to 100,000 VND per cup. Local cafes 30,000 to 60,000 VND. But price alone doesn't explain the gap. Vietnamese consumers do pay premium. When it feels earned. Here, Starbucks feels expensive and emotionally distant. It doesn't feel local. And it doesn't feel essential. Fragment V, taste is culture, not preference. Starbucks built its empire on Arabica. Vietnam runs on Robusta. Stronger. Bitter. Heavier. Vietnamese coffee isn't meant to be smooth. It's meant to wake you up, and sit with you. Starbucks didn't fail to localize flavors. It failed to localize ritual. And rituals are stubborn. Fragment 6, Scale versus Intimacy. Starbucks is exceptional at consistency. Every store feels familiar. Predictable. Controlled. Vietnamese cafes thrive on the opposite. Each place is different. Owned by families. Improvised. Personal. The barista remembers your face, not your name on a cup. Starbucks offers reliability. Vietnam values relationship. Those are not the same currency. Fragment 7, market share tells a quiet story. Despite global dominance, Starbucks holds a tiny share of Vietnam's coffee market. Local chains and independent cafes dominate. Not because Starbucks is bad, but because it's foreign in spirit, not just origin. It speaks the language of global cities. Vietnam listens in local dialects. Fragment 8, this is not a defeat. It's a boundary. Starbucks didn't lose Vietnam. It simply reached the edge of what branding can override. Some habits are stronger than marketing. Some cultures don't want to be optimized. Vietnam didn't reject Starbucks. It just didn't reorganize itself around it. And that's an important distinction. Closing, the lesson most businesses miss. This story isn't about coffee. It's about humility. Global scale creates power. But culture creates gravity. You can export systems. You can export logos. You can even export taste. But you cannot export meaning unless the ground accepts it. Starbucks succeeded almost everywhere. By creating a third place. Vietnam already had one. And sometimes, the most successful move is not domination, but knowing when not to replace what already works. If you enjoyed this kind of story, not advice, not motivation, just quiet patterns hidden inside real businesses, you'll find more fragments like this on the channel. No lessons, just observations worth sitting with.